got 90 you guys. So I ended up welding this, if you've caught up with me. I had this little edge here to replace a piece of metal in, so I did that off camera. Yeah. So now what I'm just doing is bring the edge back to where it belongs. I still got to cut that whole top off, top, side off, because I'm way above the top here, the edge. I left it that way, so I just grind it down to the final edge, which is a little overkill on that side of it because you got doggone 3/16 of an inch that I have to trim off there. So yeah, but at least I have a straight edge for that. Once I get where I can put this piece to do it, you know what I mean by that. So I can keep the project in the picture. Luckily, I got my monitor up there. I can see. I need to make this a little flatter so I can put my straight edge on it. Some or other, I'm finding that I'm putting way too much weld on it, and then I'm finding out that I got to cut it all off. If you are grasping what I'm saying. So that's quite the buildup of weld that I got to remove. I find it's a little better to remove. Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? What's going on, man? A little better to grind off something and to have a straight edge. Especially if kind of know what you're doing, but you don't. You know what you want, but you're not getting it. You're not getting it. I was using that small grinder like this because it's easier to use, unfortunately. On the other hand, pretty close there. I'm pretty on the close. Little high still, but that view makes it look like it's like right on. You know what I mean? Like right on. I'd rather have it where it's a little high than a little low, because then I got to build it back up, right? Say I'm there. I'd say I'm there. Let's see what it really look like when I take this off. Yep, just a smidge high, but I can take and cut that down, huh? The rest of the way. I got all this high spot here too that I gotta cut down. Let me bring you over so you can really see. Huh? Let me zoom you out. Are you out? So it's heavy still there. A little bit on the end. I gotta cut that. And then I gotta cut the edge of the top here. Like I said, I left that weld along the bottom here to line up with this seam here. I still got to fill in that little bit. This stuff here, I'm gonna make it look a little prettier, but for the most part, if I grind the weld out, then I actually lose the strength. This guy I still got to weld in where I brought that over. If you guys have followed along with this. Yeah. Like I said, it's not showroom stuff, but it the owner said, don't make it look too good. So don't make it look too good, he said. I said, oh, okay. I said to him, I said, what about this stuff here? And he never did say anything back about that. I figure he'll end up busting it all up again anyways. Overload the tailgate, you know what I'm saying? Overload the tailgate. Yeah. I loaded a new weather app on my phone, and it keeps being taken over by a bunch of ads or something. All right, so let's get you back up there, somewhat closer. Let me back you up a smidge, right in there. All right. Alright, so let's I find that my 4 cordless one seems to be more handier than a corded one. I'm not sure exactly why. Because this seems to be the better one I bought. You're wondering why I don't use fancy equipment in the grinder, is because and I would assume that most of the people that are watching this are limited on tools, and so I try to use the tools that most people can afford. You know what I'm saying? Like a Harbor Freight grinder, like this one here. Or these guys here, these kind of guys, these ones. Yeah, or a Harbor Freight one somewhere here. There we go. Or this guy, that was $15. You know what I'm saying? The Warrior. The Warrior! Some people would have to use that. I got him. Yep. So now I need to put a real flappy disc on it. See if I can get that look a little better. Still gonna have to do a little bit of a, a little bit of a improvement on it to make it work. So I already got my headshot. These guys here, these flappy disc things, them are occasionally you see them on sale. Again, you can put them right in your grinder. Right on your 1 1/4 inch grinder, 1 1/2 inch, I mean. still just a hair right there. Just a hair. My top edge is just right. This one here, still got to do a little bit more work to it. This one, she's pretty close. Again, this is not a showroom truck, so the owner said, hey, you know, that's pretty good. Let me check my straight edge on that, because I didn't do that. I think I just ballparked it, and my memory is still working. Let's see. Bring it out the bottom flush. Sure, you guys can't see that. You'll have to believe me on that one. Moved over a little. There we go. That moved over a little too. Where's my hammer? You guys able to see what I got going on? I'm just establishing my flat edge on the bottom. There we go. One more clamp should, what's that? If anything, you want them flat edges to be right. If you don't have those flat edges right, everybody's gonna know what's going on. Right. Let me bring one more clamp at the very top. So we're so close on the flat edges that so we're going to remove this. Alright, so then we got a little bit of it right there that's not in the ballpark. We got a little bit right here and down at the end. You guys can see that. I think, yeah, you can see up here at the end. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I can use this paddle sander on there. I'm thinking. Let's see. like you know, using the old cordless attachment does have its drawbacks. Everybody was waiting for that, I think. I should have just used the grinder, right? To catch it to the maximum and then use the Alright, now we got this straight edge established. Got a lot of stuff piled up here. Lots of stuff piled on this one. Yep. Alright. So all you gotta do now is just smooth out the edge for the final. Again, we got the first line up. We got the next spot, and then we go down. Is that perfect? No, it's not perfect. Can I smear some mud here? Some mud? Oh yeah. Would it make it better? Probably a little bit better right here. That I gotta take and weld in a little bit. And here's the back side. Make it a little bit better. I'll have to ask the boss if he wants it any better than this. You guys can't. Not in the picture, am I? There you go. So I can smooth this off back here with a with his grinder. Wherever it went, it was down here on the floor. I can use that burring tool and make it nice and pretty there and down through there. Or I can just leave it as support and not have to worry about it breaking loose after he takes and puts the semi on the tailgate. You know what I'm saying? Semi on the tailgate, rips it out, rips this out. One thing I do have to do next is just fix up my welds that I did. Yep, gotta fix that up. This is where I cut the slice in. Cut the slice in to bring it to bring this in closer together, because this was kind of out a little bit more than it needed to be. I don't think I got any kind of filler at all for this. I did ask him if he wants a filler, just spray it off and call it a day. Getting all weird. Hear how it's sounding? Sounds like galvanized metal. Oh, did you see me turn the gas off or what? Yeah, the reason why I was doing that fuzzy thing was because some or other I turned the gas off by accident, huh? One of those things. One of those things you do. You just turn the when you're done with it, you shut it off and you turn the gas off, right? Yep. Except for it didn't turn the electricity off. All right. That's what I got for you guys. That's what I got. I have to ask him if he wants me to take and you know, if he wants me to move some poo on there. Smooth some poo. Make it look better. But again, I got the rust spot in the bottom too, so what do you think? Is that alright? You gotta remember, I'm not a body man. I'm just playing along here, showing you how to fix your own rusty old junk, and show you how to fix your own rusty old junk with somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing, and showing you can do it. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And again, I used it all out of a file cabinet metal that somebody threw out to the curb. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Money out of pocket is probably would be a little bit of wire and some gas and my time. Yep. Hope you liked it. Leave a comment if you like. I'll have to find out what he wants to do with the rest of it. Alright? As far as I'm going to do is just spray it off with some paint and call it good. See you next time. Bye.